process.
Together, yeah.
Oh, we're back at it again.
We're back at it again, man. Market in Darkness.
Yes. Welcome to another episode of Market in Darkness, the podcast where we talk about marketing from the perspective of people of color. We're also talking about dark times and marketing in these dark times. For beginner marketers, it can seem like you're in the dark at first. So we're here to provide some of that light, little tips and tricks of the trade that we picked up along the way in our marketing past and careers with Farfetched and the other things that we do. I'm a DJ. Backbeat's also a DJ.
Mm-hmm. Been a while since I've DJed, but I'm trying to get back into it. It happens.
The pandemic can put a damper on that.
Certainly can.
I also have a book. What else do you do? Your Vintage Gamers Club, your Gamer, Games Online. So we market a lot of different projects that we work on. And so we want to bring you the tools that we're using to have some success. The past couple episodes, we've been discussing this book, Dotcom Secrets.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue that today. Today we're getting into section 3. And again, as you can see, our books are different. I bought my book 2 years ago. Jelani got his book this year through my affiliate company. Mm-hmm. And they have since updated it. You can see how much thicker it is. It's hardback. This is paper, soft paper copy. And this is like the overview. So now you can see all 3 of these books, Dotcom Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets. We're going to go through all those on this podcast. Right now we're focused on Dotcom Secrets. And next up is Expert Secrets, so stick around for that. But this was more of an overview of all 3 of these when it was written. And now the information's been parsed out a little bit better into the different books. So my section 3 is going to be completely different than Jelani's section 3. We're going to go through both of those today. You'll hear the differences and see the differences. We're going to cover each piece because I feel like my section 3 is also as important. We didn't do that as much with section 2 because a lot of what my section 2 was covered in our section in Jelani's section 1. So today, section 3, Dotcom Secrets. What you got, Backbeat?
So section 3 of Dotcom Secrets covers funnel scripts. And these are important in making it easy for you to take your hooks, stories, and offers and putting them out in various forms without boggling your brain too much about what to say. So this really gives you an outline in case you need some ideas. So the way that this section starts is, it's really interesting because there's a quote in there that says, how would you like to get the best salesperson on the planet to close your sales for your products 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without them ever complaining, asking for a raise, or taking a break? The idea of that, right? The idea of that is very fascinating. And this is essentially the question that Russell Brunson poses to people when meeting face-to-face. That's essentially how the 3rd section starts. Okay. And it gives you details on how that worked out for Russell and how that mentality works out in the long run with funnel scripts.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about funnel scripts, these are the actual words. This is the copyright that you're going to talk about and use when you're addressing your dream customers, when you're addressing your dream 100. Anything that you write or say to those people is going to go in a script. You always want to prepare what you're going to say before you say it. Obviously, we do some prep for this podcast, but we let the conversation flow. Mm-hmm. But if you don't prepare what you're going to say, you're probably not going to hit your target. One of the things that we talk about all the time on this podcast and just in general with marketing is target your audience. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be marketing
in complete darkness.
Right. And you're selling, say, fitness products to women who need pregnancy pills. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that we're hitting our target when we market something so that, number 1, we're not wasting our time, but number 2, we're not wasting the customer's time, and 3, that we're actually providing value to the people that need it and want what we have to provide.
Precisely. So with in that spirit, in the next part of this section, they go into the front end lead funnel scripts. So the sections are essentially built out to where it tells you the front end stuff, it tells you some of the middle stuff, and then it tells you a little bit of the back ends for the funnel scripts. But essentially, in order, it starts, the next secret we're going to cover is secret number 18, which curiosity-based headline scripts. So the figures in these books, as we've discussed before, are excellent bookmarkers for you in case you want to get a quick reference or just a quick synopsis of certain parts of the book that are relevant to that part of your journey. A good way that Darian described it to me is that this is a good read for small doses, and it's more like a playbook. I mean, it even says that it's a playbook on the front. So it's a book that you refer back to for these. So figure 18.1, it talks about mastering the art of headline writing is crucial for your success because you'll be writing headlines everywhere in your ads, your landing pages, your sales pages, upsell pages, and many other types of pages and scripts. So that figure goes into a bit of detail about it. It's a really nice figure.
Awesome. So hook story offer. You're going to hear us say that a lot. The curiosity-based hook is really the linchpin for all of this, because if you can't hook someone with what you say initially, you're never going to get them into your funnel in the first place. Mm-hmm. So your hook is ultimately important. And even in my section 3 in secret number 13, it talks about that in the best bait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's important to know that stuff because it's second nature once you actually start, thinking about what the examples they give in the books, because it's a lot simpler to create these things. And even when you're telling a story to somebody, it's relevant. You do it subconsciously there too, to make your story more believable. Mm-hmm. You kind of find out the best way that you would describe it in your head and then just describe it. And if it hits, you did it well. So the next part of this also talks about headline secrets by Jim Edwards. That's someone that Darian mentioned before for good copy. Yeah. And how important is a headline? Why bother who reads headlines anyway? So the mentality is usually those are the questions that people ask before actually realizing the roadblocks, right? So then if your product or service is awesome, that's what really matters to certain people, but it's a lot more than that. And then what they do is they actually go in detail on how this is relevant on an ad, on an actual funnel page, and in an email, in a video, and question headlines too. So it goes into details about each one of those things. Yeah. And a few of the question headlines are what if you could desire, what if you, desire, what if you could desire without pain? And pain and desire in parentheses because you can substitute what you want for those words. Yeah,
and what you're ultimately talking about is that all of these things are working on basic human psychology. So, there are black hat marketers out there that use this against you to sell you products that you don't need. I have no problem using this because I'm selling you a product that's going to help you. This is going to help you build a business. If you're building a business, if you're not building a business, you don't need it. You don't even need to get in the funnel. Right. But if you are building a business, these tools right here are some of the best I've found, and I know that will help you. So I'll use your psychology against you to give you a tool that's going to help you make some more money and put food on your table and provide for your family. But basically, it is working on them. Yeah, you're using basic psychology so that people go through the process like they normally would. You're not trying to get them to do something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, you're just motivating folks to respond to a call of action that's beneficial. Mm-hmm. So. I mean, and then the next figure, it's really interesting because they actually get into, the different forms of traffic that you're going to meet and the different types of scripts that you would be presented with those different types of traffic. So it essentially goes, figure 18.2 talks about you should create separate landing pages for each
Is this the hot, warm, and cold traffic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can probably visualize the image too. Yeah, the three dudes, one's very interested, one's slightly less interested, and one's just not even on the radar. And so to get into detail, it talks about hot traffic headlines. Typically, this means you can mention your name and your product in the headline. So that's because if it's hot traffic, then they already know you, and it's usually safe to go ahead and say things like that. But it just talks about, how you customize your headlines based on the type of traffic you have.
There's a part in my section 3 that actually speaks to that. Let me see if I can find it real quick, about like the levels of awareness about your product. Yeah, cold, warm, hot. Where are you?
Yeah, as soon as I learned about the cold, warm, hot traffic thing, that kind of changed the entire mentality of, how I go about promoting anything that I have. Because at the beginning, you would imagine that with the old mail methods, that if you send your message out to a bunch of people, it is a numbers game, but it also, these books tell you how to speak to the numbers that are responding.
Yeah.
Not just get your message out, but get your message to people who will respond.
Right. Who want what you have and will actually have their problem solved by what your product does or what your service does. So in terms of being aware of your product, it goes from cold to warm to hot. So like people that are hot or closest to you, they already know who you are, know what you can do. People that are warm maybe know those people that are close to you, and they know what you do, and they may have heard of you. And the people that are cold have never heard of you at all. And it goes through this awareness, spectrum. It goes from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to product aware, and then finally the most aware. So, and this is awareness in regard to your brand. So the cold traffic obviously is unaware and could also be problem aware because they have a problem that they want to solve. They're Googling something.
They know that they have an issue that needs to be solved, but they're unaware of how to get it solved.
Right. They're Googling grocery store near me or something like that, coffee shop near me. But then the warm traffic is solution aware. They know that there is a solution to their problem out there. They may or may not know where to get it, but then your hot traffic is product aware. So they know that they can get the product that solves their problem from you. And then from there, they can become most aware. So they know all of your products, they know the services you offer, they know your upsells, your downsells, and then they can even become affiliates for you if you're into affiliate marketing.
Easily. Like if you want affiliates from these types of traffic, your best bet is to go to the most aware. So for warm traffic, some ideas of some headlines are, in a warm headline, you talk about the payoff or benefit they're seeking. So instead of just telling them exactly what your products are and saying your name, you pretty much allude to the fact that they can find a solution through working with you. An example is, see how easily you can, whatever the big result is, without the pain. So, we see how easy you can, sleep if you work out, or see how easily, you can benefit from art if you go to an art show.
And then you say without the pain. So it's like, see how well you can sleep from this workout without having to spend hours in the gym.
Exactly. There you go.
And again, we're talking about human psychology. Most people are moving toward pleasure and away from pain. So you can either include both of those things in your headline, or you can include one and just kind of hone in on people's desire for pleasure, or you can hone in on their, abhorrence for pain.
Exactly. So, and then it goes to cold traffic headlines. In a cold traffic headline, you would typically use their problem to hook them. So somebody that's already having a hard time getting the results that they need. Don't let pain stop you, or how whoever your target audience can stop doing whatever this pain point is, offering solutions to that immediately. So you would use the hook of what they need essentially to hook. That would be the hook, essentially. There's no like, oh, this is my product and this is what my product does to you. It's like, you already have this issue. We can help. Like,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the differences between hot, medium, and cold though. It's very, very refined to the type of traffic for effectiveness.
Yeah, and what kind of hooks you're using, what kind of funnels you want them in. You definitely don't want to be talking to the same to people that know you well than people that don't know you at all. So you're going to use different language. You're going to use different stories a lot of times.
So we've gone into pretty decent detail on secret number 18. So secret number 19 is really fascinating. It's the who, what, why, how script. And this is important because if you answer these questions, it's extremely easy to move on to the next step on figuring out what type of traffic you have with you. So essentially, figure 19.1 talks about for more information on where to use the script, it refers back to secret number 8, which is the lead squeeze funnels. It also talks about secret number 11, which is the book funnels, secret number 12, which is the cart funnels, secret 15, which is the webinar funnels, and secret 16, which is the product launch funnels. But the reason that they're referring back to those is because each one of those secrets speaks to the type of question that you would ask here for the who, what, why, and how. And it also explains that, you know, it differentiates your audience from like the catch section of your audience, the guarantees section, the urgency, and the recap. But yeah, it goes into a lot of detail too about. So question number 1 is, who are you? And that script essentially talks to the front end of the ladder. So it's with the colder traffic is what, you know, it's in reference to mostly. And then the what do you have is actually talking about, in the past 5 years, over 100,000 entrepreneurs have ditched their websites for a funnel. And I want to give you a free 2-week trial of ClickFunnels today so you can create your first funnel for free. That is essentially explaining what you have that will actually help the person that's receiving the message.
So the questions go back and forth. It's not always about your dream customer. The first one is about who are you. It's an introduction to your brand. Mm-hmm. So like it's an introduction to who you are and your brand, and then what do you have? You know, he's offering ClickFunnels. Why do they need it? And then he tells them, you know, what problem that they probably are trying to solve. He agitates that problem and then tells you how he's going to solve it. And then the how is like, these are the ways that it works. And a lot of times that will be a testimonial for a number of different types of businesses or other methods that they use to show you how it works.
And yeah, and then it's like, how can they get the offer too?
Oh.
So yeah, it's like, just click below or, you know, go to ClickFunnels. And that would be like question number 4.
Call to action.
The call to action, yeah. So it goes over, secret number 19 goes over each one of those sections of the scripts and things like that. And then, so underneath that figure, it talks about the catch, the urgency and scarcity, the guarantee, and the recap too. So the catch will tell them why you're presenting the offer for such a good deal, because obviously you could charge what it's actually worth, but the catch is giving the folks an opportunity to get this at a discount. So because if it's undeniable, then you would, of course, want it for less. Mm-hmm. The urgency and scarcity, of course, is also speaking to that too. Like, what are the real elements of urgency and scarcity that you can weave into the offer? So however you can make this offer a one-time thing or like, you know, make it something that they need to hop on right now, that's what this section speaks on. The guarantee. And this is a big one, too, that people get scared of, especially starting out in their business, is giving guarantees about their products. Because obviously, if you're confident enough in your product, you can guarantee that it works. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you guarantee it? So essentially, in the recap, reminds them of what they are getting and why. So those are the things that the who, what, why, and how answers in presenting what these are. So next we're going to get into unboxing funnel scripts after that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take a little break.
Take a little break. We'll be right back.